So, boys and girls, we're going to be doing the S14 jungle tier list for Kayn, and yes, we're going to be covering both red and blue, the whole ins and outs of every single champion matchup. So let's get into it. First and foremost, we have Amumu. I would definitely say Amumu is a free win. If you're going to go red Kayn, he is a tank, you're a drain tank, your entire kit counters him. As soon as he goes in with his Q, you just knock him up. You can easily space him out, dodge his Q with your Q. You have a lot of mobility. And if you're going to go blue Kayn, let's say hypothetically has a very squishy backline, you get Edge Knight, and it kind of nullifies his entire hard CC because he's not going to be able to hit you with his Q if you have your E because of how high mobility you are. So first matchup, very easy. And we're only going to be going over real junglers. Oh, Bel'Veth. So Bel'Veth, I would say Bel'Veth is, in this current meta with how strong she is, she's definitely in semi-hard. Nothing too impossible. She's definitely verging that fine line between very hard and semi-hard. My best success I find into a Bel'Veth would be playing red Kayn. Similar to how you would play a Master Yi or Briar matchup because of the damage reduction, having that CC and being able to lock her down. But you see, the hard thing about CCing Bel'Veth is because of her Qs, so being able to actually get on her, this is definitely a skill check matchup. If you are not that comfortable with Kayn, it is going to be very difficult to play into a Bel'Veth. And if you're going to go blue, obviously you just try and avoid her and kill her backline, which is not impossible. So that's why I'd say it's semi-hard, because it's not like she can do too much to peel if you're blue Kayn. So next we're going to have Brand, who's actually pretty new jungler. I would say Brand's pretty free if you go blue Kayn. It's one of the hard counters to Brand. Brand doesn't really have a lot of counters, but you're a champion that could easily get on top of him. If he ults you, you go inside of him, cancels practically his entire ult. If you get Edge of Night, then it makes it near impossible for him to actually get a stun off on you because his E will break the Edge of Night, and then he still needs to get a burn. The W is not really going to land because, you know, he needs to be able to burn you and then Q you to stun you, and it's very easy, I would say. It's not necessarily a free win just because of how powerful this champion is right now, but I believe he's getting nerfed, so he's probably going to go down to free win. Okay, next we have Briar. Briar, I would definitely say, is a 50-50. The champion, in theory, should be a very easy matchup, but because she's such a skill check champion, I would definitely say that this champion is, I mean, she's just a stat stick, you know? She is just gonna run at you and do a bajillion damage and sustain a bunch, so obviously the counterplay would be playing red, CCing her, and having anti-heal, but because she just has so many stats, it's not as easy as it sounds. And her ult can also be very scary, but once again, you can use your ult to dodge your ult if you have somebody nearby to go inside of. Or if you're incredibly fast and you can somehow get your smite ult off before her ult fully connects, which you would need, you know, insane godlike human reflexes. But I would say this match is pretty fit. Alright, let's see. Next one would be Diana. Diana, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. I'd say this is another free win. Similar to the Amumu matchup, if you go red Kayn. I mean, red or blue Kayn, her ult has around a second cast time before the damage actually goes off. So you can get CC'd, but by the time the damage is going off, you go inside of her, you wait, and you just completely block out all the damage. And there's no real issue or worry with Diana whatsoever, red or blue. Mundo, I see some people play Mundo jungle once again. Tank, red Kayn, easy win. Or if you go blue Kayn, he has no peel. Am I missing any junglers on this top list? No. Okay, so top list is done. Echo, I would say can be hard, not too hard, but can be hard. If you're gonna go blue Kayn, you need to make sure that you can one-shot him without using your ult, because his ult will counter your ult. So you always want to make sure, similar to how you're gonna play the Kindred matchup, you 100-0 him without using your ult, and then when he ults, you can ult on top of him and kill him. Or if you go red, just play to knock him up and kill your team. Not too hard, but it's definitely a little bit of a toughy matchup. Elise, I would say, is pretty free too. Edge of Night is going to come in clutch for you. Merc Treads, even if you need it. Honestly, the main thing about this matchup is just surviving. So if you're red Kayn and you can survive a burst, very free. If you're blue Kayn and you don't get 1-0'd, not too hard. But a little bit tough just because she has so much damage. Now, this actually pains me to say, and it also pains me to do, is I'm going to actually put Evelynn in... it's very close to very hard, but I think I'd put her around the same category as Bel'Veth, where it can be very hard to playing against a really good Evelynn, because she has a stronger early game than you, a stronger mid game, and a stronger late game. With Red Kayn, you could look to peel, you could look to put control wards down, you could look to counter her kind of sneakiness. But I would overall say this is a, it's not a very fun matchup. It's because of her stats. In theory, Kayn should win, but because of how well statted she is and how low statted Kayn is right now, specifically Red, I would say this is a very hard matchup.
By the way, if this was Karasmai,
I'm gonna put it semi-hard because ideally you should be able to
My
win.
goat.
Oh, you're fantastic. They sell 11 months. Okay, so next, I mean, we could mention Ezreal Jungle. I'm not going to put him on the list, but a special shout out to Ezreal Jungle. Go Blue Kayn, free win. I'll put him in here, actually, because people have been playing it again. Fiddle, I would say this is a very hard matchup. Depending on the Fiddle, this could be a very, very hard matchup. Because one little interaction I would like to notably say, well, amongst a lot of things that I'll get to, but the main thing is that his W can still affect you when you're inside of him, so he can still suck you while you're, you know, inside of him. And it'll last the entire time, and it'll get full damage off, which is pretty gross, but, I mean, you know, just ulti, how much he can impact the team. He farms faster than you, his team fights better than you, so he does counter the red and blue. The only way you're ever going to beat a Fiddle is somehow you can outpath him, and you can't really invade him either because his W makes it impossible to kill. So I would say Fiddle is very hard. Very hard. If it's a really good Fiddle, it's going to be very hard. If they're bad, they're bad, you know. Anywho, moving on. Let's see. We'll go Gragas. Gragas, I would say, can be hard. Pretty free, but can be hard. The only reason I would say he's not free is because his E can actually cancel your Q depending on what type of game you plan. And if you go blue, he can get Zhonya and kind of get tanked. If you go red, you can go kind of an AP bruiser. So just because of Red Kayn's kind of weak right now, I would say he's can be hard. Hey, Graves! This is one that I think a lot of Kayn mains know about. This is not the hardest matchup. The hardest matchup is yet to come, believe it or not. But Graves is a champion matchup that is 100% a skill check. If you're playing against a really good Graves, you should basically never be able to do anything. His entire kit counters your kit. Graves is a hard counter to any 80 melee champions. So the fact that he can space you out, his W can make it so you can't really be too relevant in a team fight. His E makes it so he can dodge your W very easily. His E also gives him armor, so stacking that armor is extremely nice. The only thing that you really have an advantage on is that you can farm faster than him, but other than that, I mean, I don't know. It's one of the toughest matchups. Not the hardest, but I'll put him second. So I'll put him first. Okay, I'll add Gwen, even though she's not necessarily a jungler, and I'll say that she's pretty free win. I mean, red or blue, she can't really peel for her team, and you can pretty much one-shot her. Even if she gets Zhonya's, you just have more damage output, and your Q can dodge her ult. I mean, it's pretty easy. It's not too hard of a matchup. Ekram can be hard. I don't even think that he belongs in can be hard. He technically should be in a free win, but just because of how fast he is, sometimes he gets snowball, but no, you're stronger in team fights. He has engage over you, that's about it. But Blue Kayn's more mobile. You're stronger in team fights if you go red. So, if you're playing Blue Kayn, just make sure that if you ever try to one-shot Ekram, wait till his W is down, or try to take up on him to where he doesn't have his W up because all the resistances he gets. But I would say that it's a pretty easy matchup. Okay, and next we're going to be Ivern. So Ivern in theory should be free win because of Blue Kayn, you know, being able to build that serpents. But I'm actually going to put him in 50-50 because he is one of the most overstated broken champs in the game. Like, this is another one of those champs where in theory I would love to say, yeah, this is free, this is easy. But he is very, very good at getting his team ahead, and he is very, very good at hoping his team not die. Now, yes, if you do rush serpents, you can counter him, but that is going to require 2 items, because you can't get a first item, you have to get a second. So, you're going to need 2 full items to be able to do anything to really counter him, so he has all that time to work with to kind of take over the game and dominate. And he does also have a lot of damage, so I would not really count that as an easy matchup. It's a 50-50. In theory, it should be free. If you were equal stats, but he's overstated, so. Jarvan, wow, that's actually tough. I might get flack for this one, but I actually think Jarvan's a semi-hard matchup. I genuinely think Jarvan's a semi-hard matchup because he can peel really good. He has really good engage. He definitely destroys Blue Kayn. He has a lot of mobility, not as much as Blue Kayn, but a good amount of mobility. You can easily E or Q out of his ult, so it makes him hard to get on you, but just the amount of impact he has on the map overall, his team fighting is on par in strengths of Red Kayn. Red Kayn could do more in a fight, but Jarvan definitely does have a good amount of outplay potential and also a very high statted champion. If Red Kayn was stronger, I would definitely put it in 50-50, but as of right now, I would say this is a semi-hard match. Okay. Jax. Is Jax even worth putting? I mean, if I were to put Jax, I would definitely just say he's a free win. You farm faster than him, you team fight better. He has to Q on you, you can knock him up as he's gonna Q. Pretty free, nothing really to worry about. Just don't stand still and let him auto attack you. Okay, so Karthus. Ooh, Karthus. I would say it can be hard. I don't think that's a tough matchup at all. You go Blue Kayn. Only times it could really be difficult is if he goes exhaust. It makes it a little bit difficult. Yeah, I think this is usually going to be a pretty easy, pretty simple matchup. If you go Blue Kayn, even if you go Red Kayn, you get an MR item, you can out-sustain him. But the only time I ever found struggle was exhaust. He's going to AFK farm, but you actually can invade him. Like I said, if he gets exhaust, it's a little bit harder, but it should be pretty cool. And your ult can actually dodge his ult, which is another direction. We have our lovely boy Kayn, but obviously I'm not going to put Kayn in his own tier list, his own matchup tier list. Kha'Zix. I would say Kha'Zix is probably the inventor of 50-50. Like, this, actually, believe it or not, a really good Kha'Zix could destroy a Kayn if he's very aggressive and plays on top of him. And a very good Kayn could destroy a Kha'Zix if you look to team fight. So the kind of Kha'Zix, look to team fight, look to group. And if you're Blue Kayn, you know, your E tells you when he's around. So if he tries to sneak on you with ult, it's not too hard. But I would definitely say that's the definition of a 50 matchup is that matchup. Kindred is definitely semi-hard. I don't think she's the hardest. I think she's like semi-hard. Just because she can get Frozen Heart, which will counter Blue Kayn. Her ult also counters Blue Kayn. Red Kayn, you probably have a better chance, but just because she has so much mobility, it's very hard to actually get on her and hit your abilities on her. And she will 100% outscale you. So, very scary champion. That is one of the harder matchups. Definitely, I would put her in very hard, but I think because you can path faster than her, that's kind of what gives you that leverage. So. So next, we're going to have Lee Sin. Ooh, that's a toughie. What do you think about this one? Lee Sin. I would say it's a 50-50. A lot of people think that Lee Sin just absolutely destroys Kayn. I think it depends how they play. I think Red Kayn could easily like destroy Lee Sin. Blue Kayn has easy access to Serpents. You're not really going to be one-shotting him, but still murder his team. The thing is, Lee Sin has good early game, which can punish you. He has a really good peel. Has a lot of strength in his kit, but I would definitely say it's a skill-based matchup. Be really talented to actually be able to, you know, outperform you, but you still have the superiority in how fast you can click. So, Lilia. Some people might not believe me when I say this, but it's actually an incredibly free matchup. I'm not gonna say free win because she's once again similar to a brand, pretty overstated. So I would put Lilia here, but your ult actually entirely counters her ult. So if she is ulting you and you put somebody in ult, get inside somebody, cancel the entire ult like that. If you're playing Red Kayn, you could use your knock up to cancel her from going in and getting a big sleep. Or if you're playing Blue Kayn, you could look to one-shot her. If she goes on, you could look to one-shot her team. So never really struggled too much for that matchup, but I do get that she's overstated. So I'll put her in MBR just because. Who would be next? Maokai? Honestly, I'd say Maokai can be hard if he goes AP Maokai. Hits you with his E's from afar, hits you with ult from afar, can cancel your Q with his Q, uses W to, you know, block out your W. He actually has a lot of counterplay. It's just, the champions, I mean, besides that, it's not very good. It's pretty free to play against. Master Yi. I would say, for a lot of players, Master Yi is semi-hard. Definitely semi-hard. He is a matchup that, in theory, you should win very easily, but the main counter Yi is Red Kayn, and Red Kayn, once again, is pretty bad. You know, the way that you counter him is the same way you counter Bel'Veth. Wait for your W to knock him up, do him, ulti him, wait for your CDs, do it again, try and kill him. If you knock him up into a team fight, you're going to win, but it's a lot easier said than done because his Q can actually dodge out your W, so you have to be really patient with your timing. And you have to play off your team a lot, so I would say it's semi-hard. It's definitely a a matchup that you can make easy, but most of the time it's going to be a tough time. And I think he's just very OP this season, so he definitely belongs in semi-art. Oh, I don't really count Mord as a jungler, but I'll throw him in there. I would say it's a free win. I don't really struggle against Mord ever. I mean, your ult counters his ult. If you ever ult to, just stay inside him as long as you can. Swap out. Not too bad. So we're on to Italy. Oh, Italy's definitely a semi. And I would actually put her around 4th. German. Italy definitely is a matchup that is 100% skill based. She's incredibly fast tempo. Tempo is a big counter to Kayn in the higher ranks, just because there's so much you can get done in that early mid state of the game. And Kayn can't really do too much, so a good Nidalee will destroy you. But if you're a good Kayn and you get your form fast, you team fight your group, whether you're red Kayn, knock her up, destroy her, or whether you're blue Kayn, get a leverage, you can one-shot her. Can be really easy, but most of the time it's going to be very hard, especially the higher elo you get. It's definitely a skill. Nocturne, I would say... I want to say free win. I know a lot of people struggle with Nocturne, but I'm still going to put him free win. I would say free win, because I've never struggled to get into the matchup. If he's ever going to use his E on you, if you're playing Red Kayn, you could just knock him up. You can Q. So his E, the way it works is it blocks out one ability. Your Q counts as 2 abilities. It's a dash and strike, so you can cancel his E with that to make it to where you can get a free knock up. You have your smite, which you can also use it on, and then you knock him up, and then when his E is about to go off, you can go inside of him. His E can technically cancel your ult, but you have to be playing really silly to let that happen. It should be a free matchup. Team fight, sit on your carry, win. Play Red Kayn, play Blue Kayn, doesn't matter. You should win. Okay, next one. Almost done here. I want to give Nico a special shout out. Can be hard. Same thing as Brand. A little bit overstated. Usually one shot. Nothing too big. Nunu. Oh, hell. Nunu is very hard this season. Simply because the champion is so overstated. If he has good timing, he can use his ult. After you go inside of him, because you never will have the damage to one-shot him, whether you're red, whether you're blue, you'll never have the damage to one-shot him. If you go inside of him and he waits 1 second to use his ult, he can just 100-0 kill you. Solo kill you at that. Nunu, and he also is very high tempo. He can get the ball rolling. He has better objective control. Doesn't have better team fighting, but you're never going to be able to 100-0 kill him. You ideally should never be able to solo kill a good Nunu. So that is actually a very hard matchup. I will go to my grave telling you guys that is a hard matchup. And are we... Oh, Olaf. Very free, very easy. If he uses ult, just get your full combo off. Ult inside of him. Wait for your CDs. Come out. Easy. Well, here we are. The #1 hardest counter to Kayn. It's Poppy. Yep, Poppy. Everything you can imagine in the book as a counter, she does. She counters your abilities in a team fight. She pretty much puts you in a situation where you have to play full tank Red Kayn, and you have to CC her, and you have to out-farm her, and you just have to team fight, and it's incredibly difficult. Her W will counter your Q, it'll counter your E, it'll even counter your ult. So all you can really do is W, wait out her W, hope you don't die in that meantime, your full combo off, and hopefully she doesn't knock you away. But Poppy is the hardest matchup for Kayn, 100%, 100% in the jungle. Poppy is the hardest matchup. Okay, and next we have, I'm not going to add Pantheon. I mean, if we're going to put him in, I feel like 3 wins. So Lentor, you CS fast than him, way faster. And we will also go Rammus, another free win, no problem. Your W cancels his Q. If he ults, you can just go inside of him and wait out his W. There's really no damage, get Merc Treads, you're vibing. Rek'Sai can be hard because of how much they can gank early, but by the time you get 2 items, is Red Kayn, you outscale. Blue Kayn, Rek'Sai can't really kill you, you're too fast. Rengar! I would say Rengar is semi-hard. Just because of how strong he is. In theory, once again, you should be able to win this matchup. I'd actually put Rengar right here, next Evelyn. In theory, you should win the matchup, but the champion is so overstated. Makes it near impossible to handle that bad boy. So, Rengar is the champion you're going to watch out for. Ways to counter him would be getting anti-heal and control wards, similar to how you would with Evelyn. No, minus the anti-heal, you don't need that for her. But if you go Red Kayn and you get tanky, you should be fine. If you're Blue Kayn, make sure you get anti-heal and you can look to 1v1 him. But he is very scary. He can also one-shot you, whether you go red or blue, if he's a very good player and jumps around a lot. So you have to be very good at timing your W. It's definitely should be a winning match in theory, but once again, you will stat it. Rumble Jungle, I would put free, self-explanatory. He's just a burst champ. Sejuani, tank champ, free win, once again. Shaco, I would say Shaco can be hard, but most of the time he's free. If he goes AP Shaco, go red. If he goes AD Shaco, go blue, because if he goes AP, you can easily get an MR item and survive anything he throws at you and turn it all back and heal the fool and kill him. If he goes AD, you can go blue and just one-shot him like this. Pretty easy matchup. And the only time he's really stronger is those first 3 camps. He clicks fast and you can maybe get a gank off. Maybe he could cheese you. So just be cautious. Don't let him cheese you and you're vibing. Shyvana. Free win. Self-explanatory. Red Kayn, blue Kayn, doesn't matter. Don't give her dragons, that's it. Garner, once again, free win. If he's trying to like, come at you and ult you or anything, just W him, knock him up, combo him. Get Merc Treads. Easy. We're getting towards the end here, boys. Talia. I would say Talia can be hard, but I would say more often than not you should beat her. She's probably on the top of the can be hard list. But go blue Kayn. Do not Q into her W, is it? Is it her W or E, whatever it is, the grounding? Not Q into that. Just throw your W, maybe go inside of her, wait it out, and then combo and kill. And we're getting close to the end here. Am I in Q? Yeah, I'm in Q right now. Kiana. I wouldn't really even put Kiana on the list, but I would say she's another free win. Go blue Kayn. One-shot her before she one-shots you. You farm faster. Play better, everything. Not too hard. Alright. Signless, Swain, Syndra, Talon. I actually think Talon's a 50-50 matchup. If it's a good Talon, I definitely think this is a good 50-50 matchup. I like this matchup, actually. It's a lot of fun to play. A good Talon will definitely give you a run for your money, and usually they take Ignite, so if you're going red, he has a lot of mobility, so he's very hard to stay on top of, and if you're going blue, you know, whoever kills who first. It's pretty fun. I actually like that matchup a lot. 50-50 matchups are pretty enjoyable, besides Briar. She's more like 55, 45, but... Okay, who we at next? We are at... Put Silas. Silas, once again, easy matchup. I would put him maybe right here. If he gets good ult, it can be kind of hard, but farm faster, everything. It's not hard at all. But he's strong statistically speaking. Trundle, very free win. He just runs at you. Press W when he tries to auto you. Good anti-heal. Easy. And whenever his ult is on, ult him, wait it out, combo him again. And if he's chasing you, you can literally hold on to your E when he throws the pillar. He threw it. Timo, Thresh, Tristana, TF, Vi. Vi is actually an easy matchup, but it can be hard depending on how you play it, because if she ults you and you go inside of her as she's channeling that animation, it cancels her ult entirely, the entire CD of it. You have faster clearing than her, so it should be a pretty safe, pretty fun early game. She's going to always go for objectives, so she's always going to look for those dragons, so just make sure that you're on top of that. Use your superior pathing to get an XP advantage and look to fight her. Pre-form, post-form, you can beat her up. Go blue Kayn, make sure you get serpents if you go red. Make sure that you cancel her cube with your W. Can be a little bit hard though, but usually. Viego, I would say it's another. Definitely more so over here. But Viego's not tough at all, I would say. Just make sure he doesn't
Captain
get a reset.
Shiznit donated $5.
Yo, my boy,
Can you do a Smash or Pass Kayn edition tier list?
Dude, I'm not doing no, I'm not doing that. Viego is definitely a matchup where just don't let him get his resets. Should be easy. You can counter him heavily with your itemization. You path faster, so normally you should be days earlier. He's a little bit of a higher tempo jungler, so he's not necessarily a free win, but definitely a matchup that you should have the advantage on. Just be very precise about not giving him resets. That's the only thing you have to worry about. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. Udyr! That's tough. I would actually say Udyr is 50-50 just because of how tanky he can get. It's very hard to kill him. Even at Red Kayn, even at multiple items, but you are more relevant in a team fight because he's another champion that has to walk into you and just auto you, and you usually should just be able to knock him up when he does that. He's like the final boss of the walk at you demographic, but definitely a champion that you should have leverage over. Can be a very tough matchup for Blue Kayn because you're never going to kill him, but overall, I would say he's not too bad. Not too bad. I've had my fair share of bad games against Udyr though, so. We at next. We are at Volibear. Free win. Should be incredibly free, along with Trundle. Same exact playstyle. Same as Olaf. Same as Mord. Same as Jack. Same as Gwen. So you notice it's just the walk at you auto champions. Makes it very free to hit your W. Makes it very free to, just play Red Kayn and destroy him. You outpath him too. And, oh wow, another one of these champs. Warwick. Yeah, same exact thing. Wukong. I hate to break it to you, same exact thing. Xin Zhao actually is a pretty solid champ this season. I would say he can be hard. He's one of the top can be hard champions. But in theory, you should be able to beat him. Walks at you. Same as the other champs. Just walks at you. Auto attacks. W. Q. Whatever he's going to do. Ulti. Wait it out. Come out. Good. Is that it? Zac. Okay, Zac. 50-50. Actually, 50-50. I think Zac, even though you can cancel his E with your W, he's a very sticky champion. He's very good at just finding a lot of plays around the map. You clear a little bit faster than him, so sometimes if you want to look to invade him, that's not a bad idea because he's very weak until he reaches around level 4 when his E starts getting some real distance. But his damage output post 6 and his ult makes it very hard to like actually go in because you have to kind of wait it out. So this is definitely a matchup that's going to require a lot of comfort. Definitely not one of my favorite matchups, so I'm actually going to put him at the very top of the 50-50 matchups. Definitely probably like a 60-40. I'm tempted to put him in semi-hard, but he's not that cool. Zed can be hard, nothing too hard. So go Blue Kayn, go faster. Actually does clear around the same speed as you. And I believe that's gonna be it, guys. One Zyra jungle, same thing as Brand, to be honest. Same thing as Brand, same exact thing. But I believe this is it. I don't think I missed any jungle champions. If I did, feel free to let me know, and I'll let you know what I think about them. But anyways, that's the ultimate Kayn tier list. So we're looking at the hardest counters being Poppy, Graves, Fiddle, Nunu, and then 70-30 matchups, I would say, give or take. Be Bel'Veth, Evelynn, Rengar, Kindred, Ridley, Jarvan, Master Yi. All of those can be incredibly difficult. And in the 50-50 matchups, more or less, Zac, Briar, Ivern, Kha'Zix, Lee Sin, Alan, Udyr. Let me know what you guys think. Peace out, YouTubes. Adios.